Hey everybody, I'm going to talk about Cobalt today because it's in a very unique situation, extremely low price. There's a huge oversupply in the market, but it looks like things will change into the future, which creates a situation for investors to have a huge amount of profit. But there's a lot of unique things going on in the world which may impact the price before then, and that's what I'm going to cover right now. Behind me, you can see the remnants of Hurricane Milton. I'm about 100 miles south of where the hurricane crossed into the Atlantic. I'm on the east coast of Florida, but we had a lot of tornadoes that really messed up a lot of communities around here. So there is just a ton of debris. And as you can see behind me, the surf is really big. I got to surf yesterday. It was super clean, oddly enough, but it got crazy dirty water. And there's it's 10-foot surf out there. And it's out of control, and there's logs in the lineup, so I'm not gonna go out there because I don't wanna get taken out by any driftwood. Anyway, Cobalt. All right, so Cobalt is used in magnets, in batteries, in cell phones, and aircraft parts. Cobalt blue is what most people know about Cobalt. It is the blue you see in those blue glasses or blue porcelain that's been used for hundreds of years. And then people figured out you can mix Cobalt with other metals to make alloys, and that's what we use today in many electronics. So Cobalt is a byproduct of copper. So when you mine for copper, you get cobalt. And 70% of the world's cobalt comes from the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is notoriously known for political instability. Currently, there are multiple mega powers battling over the cobalt in DRC. I don't mean literally battling, but let's say secretly battling. That's the US, Russia, China, and India now. Right now, the US is investing an enormous amount of money into a rail system, which I covered earlier, which goes from Zambia through the DRC and then through Angola. And the goal there is to get minerals and metals out of this region of Africa to a port in Angola and then off to North America for minerals security, so the US doesn't have to depend on Russia and China for metals and minerals. So the situation that's going on right now with cobalt is that price is very low, very, very low. In fact, it hasn't been this low since about June of 2016. Prices between now and 2016 spiked enormously, so the idea that cobalt could come back up in price is totally within reason, so investors could make a lot of profit. The other thing about cobalt right now is there's a huge oversupply in the market, and that's because cobalt prices went up so much. Miners over the past several years started mining for a lot more cobalt and produced more because they were making more profit. But now, since prices have plummeted, supplies have gone up, they're backing off on producing as much cobalt. So it's the usual boom-bust scenario that happens all the time in the commodities space and with miners specifically. If you think there's an opportunity in cobalt, if you think that electronics are still going to be made in the future and batteries are going to need cobalt and so are metal alloys, and you also think that the world is heading towards more political instability, which means less access, less free access to cobalt through traditional supply chains, investing in cobalt right now might be pretty interesting. So how do you do that? Well, there are several companies that have the most exposure to cobalt, and unfortunately these companies are mega miners. When I say mega miners, these are the companies that mine for lots of different metals, and cobalt being a byproduct of the copper mining process means that the companies like BHP, Freeport, Glencore, and a bunch of other mega miners are going to be the way for you to get exposure to cobalt. Fortunately, when cobalt prices go up, usually other metals prices goes up, so those companies all could see a lot of upside there. So again, if you think there's a huge opportunity in cobalt, again, low prices right now, likely that there's going to be huge demand into the future, might be an interesting time to start thinking about allocating into some of those companies. All right, check out that surf behind me. It's big. And all this debris on the beach. Kind of sad, but I guess that's Mother Nature taking things back. Just destroyed a lot of stuff. All right, guys, see ya.